Welcome to Autosure Presents, the podcast dedicated to showcasing the journey of the individuals who've helped shape the automotive industry in Western Australia. We are going to discuss all aspects of this industry that I hold dear to my heart. I'm your host, Kerri Mungar. Let's get into the episode. Welcome back, everyone. This month marks a whole year since we started the Autosure Presents podcast. How incredibly crazy is that? I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's tuned in to listen, to all of my fantastic guests who's taken the time out of their days to chat with me, the guys at Ludio X Media who's been in charge of putting everything together, and of course my Autosure WA team for holding down the fort when I'm researching and hosting these podcasts. I'm grateful to every single one of you. Now that I've finished the soppy bit, it's time to get into the show. There are a lot of roles in a dealership, and most people chase sales because that's where the spotlight is. But you can't truly understand how profitable a dealership runs without looking at what happens behind the scenes. Today's guest is someone who's done exactly that. He started in parts, moved into service, stepped into a fixed operations leadership role, and now runs parts departments across multiple sites. So he's seen firsthand how the back end of a dealership drives overall performance. He's also delivered serious results, including growing a parts department by nearly $250,000 in net profit in a single year. And he's been very open about one of the biggest challenges facing the industry right now, which is finding and building high-performing teams. This is a conversation about what actually drives performance in a dealership and what some are still getting wrong. Lachlan King, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here and taking the time. I understand you've just had a little one.
Yes, little Louise, yes.
Oh, and she's 7 weeks old, you said?
4 now, and it's better 4 weeks old.
Oh,
yeah.
4 weeks old. Wow, brand new.
Brand
How
new,
exciting.
Yeah.
Is this your first?
So I've got 2 beautiful step kids as well, but yeah, it's the first of my own, yeah.
So are you feeling a little bit tired this morning at all?
Very tired. It's just been a sleepless 4 weeks, but yeah, we're good to go.
They're lucky they're very cute.
Yeah,
So,
she's beautiful.
and I'm sure that, every day is something completely different. And
your little facial features and the expressions and stuff sort of starting to come through. So it's,
It's honestly watching our little babies turn into, little children, and then, bigger teenagers is definitely a journey. And
yes,
look,
sure.
if you can hack the car industry, you can hack parenthood, I'm sure.
That's it, yeah, for sure.
All right. So, look, let's start it off. I mean, how does a parts department add $247K in bottom line in just a year?
It's just process driven, I think. Parts especially, it's just, if you look at it as a whole, I guess, it's more like parts come in, parts go out, isn't it? So it's not hugely, I guess, complex.
Yeah.
But just find those little processes, little wins that you can build off your relationships with suppliers. I guess that's the big thing, and just being competitive with your pricing. Mm-hmm. So and that sort of things what we sort of looked at. What are the Super Cheap Auto and like Repco and stuff? What are they doing? And sort of just benchmarking ourselves probably $10 cheaper than them, so someone can't come in for a service and go somewhere and get it cheaper. But the relationships that we built with our suppliers created that growth, I guess, if you like.
Tell me how a parts department runs, essentially, for those people who may not know.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, obviously you got your biggest, like in a dealership aspect, is your biggest customer is obviously your service department. Mm-hmm. So just organising obviously your service parts and keeping enough stock that, especially for like upsell for like your brakes and everything like that in stock, so you can get stuff done today. And the customer's in and out the same day, and I don't obviously lose or get shopped or anything like that. So just having it all ready to go.
Yeah, okay. And then so you said that the dealership customers are your biggest customers, but you also send parts out, is that right?
Yeah, correct. We have
obviously
obviously over the phone customers, you have sort of your trade partners and stuff like that.
Okay.
But obviously the biggest in that dealership aspect especially is the people coming through the workshop and service, yeah.
Yeah, okay, interesting. And so tell me a little bit about you and your 10-year career in this industry.
Yeah, look, I mean, I've straight out of school into parts.
All right.
So I started at Super Cheap Auto before, while I was at school. So I was in sort of auto retail, and I've my dad's in the industry. He was in auto finance, still is. So I sort of had obviously dealership. Obviously, jumped straight into a dealership and basically worked up from there. So when I just did a service, and I decided to jump over and try to do a bit of service advising.
Yep.
And the parts manager's position came up in the group, so I went and did that. And I was also very lucky to get a service manager's position with the same group and sort of hone my skills a bit in that aspect. And so I moved into Auto League now, and with obviously the baby and everything coming, so let's go back to what I know I've been doing for a long time, and sort of look after a couple of dealerships. It's been very lucky.
Okay, yeah. So because you went from fixed ops manager, parts to fixed ops, back to parts.
Yeah.
Is that because of the baby, or is that because you just prefer it, or?
I mean, I did love the challenge of service, and I probably want to get back into that someday. But with the obviously newborn and obviously being at home more, which has been obviously great, and you can sort of being in parts, obviously being a simpler, I guess if you like, sort of department in a business like that is a lot more beneficial to home life at the moment for sure, and then focus on
Yeah. Okay, and so let's just say if I walked into 10 dealerships today, how many of those parts departments do you think are being run properly?
I mean, it just really depends on how the business is structured. I think, a lot of the businesses are in a fixed ops. I was lucky when I was a fixed ops manager that I had the parts experience and I came from that background, but a lot of them don't. And you sort of have sort of parts interpreters who are obviously doing their best. But I think to get the best out of a parts department, you need someone with that backing and experience.
Okay. So what the back end experience being in the service?
Like being in the parts, like having actual parts experience and coming up through there to get the best out of a parts department and just seeing and learning from more experienced parts managers, which I was very lucky to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And then obviously you said service customers, your brake pads and those kind of everyday items are, kind of your bread and butter.
Yeah.
And if you're attached, say, to a new car manufacturer in the sales department, is that something that is also that contributes?
For sure, and I mean, and it starts with also the road to the sale, right? So just having a really good new car experience and trying to keep that retention over your car park over the 5 or however many years that you want to obviously try and get a new car again. So that's really obviously really important. But having that stuff there and ready to go, so the car could be in and out the same day and have everything it needs is a big contributing factor to that retention.
Yeah, and do you think that having a good relationship with the service and the sales teams is important as well?
Imperative. And that's why I'm very lucky in the business that I'm in, that we have a really good service parts relationship and sales relationship. It can make things really difficult for everyone involved. It's not fluid, I guess, if you like, and it's not, but it's very lucky in the business that I'm in, at least, that we've got DP, sales and service and parts all working together, which is really great.
Yeah, and I know that, I guess, with salespeople, everything has to be here and now. And, some things that could delay them getting the car out, they may not, want to push as hard.
Yeah, of course.
So having that stock there and ready to go,
for sure.
Is going to be kind of what helps, you win that
of course.
well. So, and I guess like with new car manufacturers as well, they want you to be having parts and there's a certain KPI.
Accessories especially, stuff like that.
Yeah. Is that KPI more for parts or is it for the sales team to uphold?
I mean, I think it's a dealership effort, I guess. I mean, there's like we speak to like new cars that like customers and give them the options of accessories, but it is up to the salesman at point of sale to have that knowledge of what accessories can we obviously try and ask customers if they'd like, but just us and then having that available or letting them know the availability. Obviously, after COVID, accessories availability hasn't really gone back to what it was beforehand as yet still.
Yeah.
But just being upfront and open, I guess, and giving them the tools to let them know what they could obviously sell, or ETAs or anything like that. It's really important too.
Well, is that because like some of the manufacturers closed down?
Yeah,
parts?
and I guess it's just a lack of supply, I guess, as well, and material.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, I see. So I guess we're still recovering from that incident, from many years ago.
Yeah, you got like the semiconductors and like the chips and like everything has a control module. And we're still struggling a bit with that.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that doesn't take too long to get back up and running. And I mean, do you think that the importance of the parts department in a dealership is underestimated?
I mean, yes and no. Like deals principals and stuff, like management staff, we all know that we all have to come together to deliver a result. I think in some people's eyes, yes, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter to me anyway. You know, I know what I need to do, and I know what my department plays in a dealership, and it's kind of nice to fly under the radar sometimes.
Yeah, well, I don't think that you could have service without parts.
No, and that's it. And it's the same the other way around as well. But it's nice to be able to not be in that sort of limelight, I guess, and deliver results and be able to just work under the radar and get your own stuff done without having to worry about everything else.
Yeah, because you're more so dealing with the people internally rather than the consumer on the front end.
Yeah, so you get a lot more time to hone in your process and stuff like that. Frees you up to do a lot more of that.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess that's where the service advisors have a job where they've got to liaise with the service team, the mechanics and the techs and, with the parts and then they're the kind of information bearer to the customer. And sometimes they don't like that information.
No, that's for sure. That's for sure. That's why I don't envy their job.
No.
I've been on both sides are definitely a lot easier where I am for sure. I mean, it's up to us in the parts department to give them accurate and reliable information so they can pass it on to the customer. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I do think that the service advisors do a killer job,
Yeah.
honestly, because no one likes paying for a service. I remember when I was younger, I hated paying for a service. It's like, okay, I spend $400 or $500 on something and I don't get to carry it out in my hands. Like what,
I mean, like new car is like a really great experience for people, but when you calling them to say something's wrong with your car and they got to spend money, then it's another story.
Oh yeah, I know. So I guess that's where we got to all band together and truly hone in on trying to provide that service from the back to the front.
Transparent service, especially, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I mean, what do you think causes parts departments to leak money?
So what, sorry?
Leak money.
It's just lack of process, especially within like stock inventory.
Yeah.
Like, basically poor inventory management.
Okay.
That's the biggest killer, I think. I mean, and especially we're obviously working for Volkswagen, some of those parts are big dollars.
Yeah.
Big money. So just without proper process, you can burn through a lot of money in the back end.
What does poor inventory look like?
Something like ordering in parts, not receiving them properly, not charging them out on correct job cards and stuff like that. You end up with parts that you obviously don't have anymore that aren't charged anyway, basically, is the biggest thing, I think.
Okay, and that just means in the system it's showing it's still available.
Showing it's available, and you get them to stock take and you're well out. Or you've quoted a job saying, these parts are in stock, or they're showing in stock and they're not on the shelf.
Oh, gosh.
And it obviously creates new issues.
Yeah, so how often do you have to do a stock take?
We do a stock take, I'll have a rolling stock take every month, where we are just to keep on top of it. But obviously it's a thing of, if you see it, don't leave it.
Yeah.
You're not always going to be 100% right, but if you're seeing an issue come up, then it's action it now instead of action it later,
And I guess not to make too much of a joke out of it, but I guess the parts are moving, so you've got a lot of moving parts, and then sometimes they can go walkabout, I guess.
Like these things happen, like even in the highest performing parts, you're not always going to be 100% correct, but it's getting onto it straight away.
Yeah, and definitely like things there's, I guess, like the wave of the dealerships where, you've got the slower like down times, even probably in every department, and then when it's crazy, that's when things really got to hone in on those processes.
Yeah, correct. Like mistakes happen. Everyone's obviously human.
Yeah.
It's like, come to me and we'll sort it out like now instead of when we get caught with it next time.
Yeah, exactly. I guess it's just, having that team that, can be like, oh my gosh, I found this, blah, 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 instead of trying
very, very lucky with my team in that sort of sense that I got people under me that are really good. So,
okay.
This is the next biggest thing, isn't it? Just having a team under you that's really, really strong and wants to be there and wants to sort of carry your process and add to it, I guess, and contribute. Yeah,
that's important in every, I suppose, department, every, management role. You want to have that supporting, team of staff that respects and recognises and that feels safe enough to...
Of course, and they want to contribute. I thought, I don't have the best way to do everything, but people want to contribute and work together and bounce ideas off each other. It's great. Absolutely,
like being more collaborative.
Yeah, correct. I got an amazing 2IC and she's amazing. We just bounce off each other really well.
Yeah, that's really good. So, I guess, what would you say differentiates a average parts department from a high performing one?
It's a team. It's the team. I mean, it's the people that work in it. And that's the thing. It's in every sort of department. A high performing team is everyone who is committed and wants to do better and wants to strive for excellence. I think that's the core of any business or any sort of team that wants to do well. You need the people that want to do well.
Yeah, no, definitely. So what would make the high performing kind of parts team? Like what, like, you know, like what kind of mindset would everyone have?
Owner's mindset. I know it's like a cliche thing to say and everyone says it, but it is that. It's just like, all right, well, how am I going to look after this customer and keeping the business's best expectations in mind as well? So it's like, and just basically getting into the reports and getting into, like, well, so we have great things like autogaming and like Power BI is a really powerful tool in business that we use in dealerships especially. It gives you everything that you need to know.
Yeah.
And then you can sort of crunch down to that and see how can we make these fine tweaks here and here. Do we need to get more stuff in? Do we need to not keep this in stock anymore? Do we need just getting that really fine-tuned into basically having exactly what you need on the shelf?
Yeah.
And selling at the right price is another thing, isn't it? And acquiring it for the right price.
Yeah. So what do you, like, do you kind of go above and beyond? Like, let's just say it's a really specific part that, you know, it's not quite available, like, generally.
Yeah.
Would you go kind of above beyond to
of course,
source?
and we're lucky in that sense that we have a big enough team that we can do that for the volume that we have. So
So it's not like, sorry, just can't help you.
can't help it. We've got to do
It's
it.
like, let's go
It's
find
like
it. Let's go find.
We've been lucky enough to acquire enough people that we can do these things. So we need to really act on it.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's kind of what does make that next step up of, you know, being more of a problem solver, and a solutions finder.
Yeah.
And then so going into, I guess, your team, I mean, you say that finding, you know, the talent is one of the hardest parts, I guess, with, you know, I guess any management role. I mean, do you think that, you know, in the past we've been bad at hiring in this industry, or?
I think yes and no. I mean, it's also, once you find talent, trying to better, like, to get them and progress them. I think people, like, we lose a lot of people for not trying to retain them or grow them and basically get them to progress through to management roles and stuff like that. I think a lot of good people are lost for that being missed. Yeah. Personally.
So the not ongoing mentoring and training and growth.
Yeah.
I guess people don't want to feel stuck.
No, correct. I mean, and like my dealer principal, I'm very lucky with him. Like, we've already made a plan for 5 to 10 years.
Okay.
To progress, you know, because it's
for you.
For me, yeah.
Oh,
good. So but it's good, you know, like, it's having people like that above you makes you want to do better. Makes me want to go to work every day. It makes me, because they're going to invest in me, so I want to invest in the business.
Yeah.
I think it's just start from the bottom, really.
Yeah, because you've got that goalpost. You know, you're not just coming to work every day just to sit and do the same thing for the rest of your life.
Yeah, correct.
You've got, you know, something you can actually achieve and then work towards, and then when you do get there, there's a self of satisfaction. Whereas I guess where people tend to plateau and just don't have any view of progression,
there's no motivation.
The motivation drops. So it is important to keep nurturing the people around you, and, you know,
win together.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not just me, it's we.
Yeah.
Not that I'm French or anything.
But, like, that's 100% correct, though. It's just we won, you know. Yeah. So,
and all working together for the ultimate goal as a team.
Yeah.
So what traits would you look for if you were hiring a new person in your team?
Just a willingness to work. I mean, they don't need to have all the skills, because skills can be taught, like the role could be taught, but a mentality can't be taught.
Yeah.
You know, a personality, or like, just things like that. You can't teach those things.
Yeah.
You can teach someone how to use a DMS. You can teach someone how to use a parts catalog. You know, you can't teach mentality.
I hear that a lot from a lot of the leaders that I've spoken to.
Some of the best people who haven't got experience in the industry at all.
Yep.
And come from retail. Retail especially is really good, because they've got customer facing. You can teach them the background stuff, but it's just,
I like dealing with, you know, newbies, greenies, you know, trainees.
Yeah, people who are hungry to get in,
motivated, driven, hungry, and they just like to learn.
Yeah.
And when, you know, you get to, I suppose, instill your own values and work ethics and processes into them.
Processes is a big thing. Like, if someone is fresh, we can implement a process that's been, you know, that you know that's worked.
Yeah.
And it's from there, it just molds from there.
Yeah, and I've seen like a few times, like, you know, people say, oh, we've got this gun coming in and they're a high performer, but they're stuck in their own ways
Yeah.
and they don't necessarily like intertwine with the culture of this new department. So when you can build someone up from the ground up, yes, it takes a little bit more investment, but then you get to obviously benefit from the fact that they're going to do the processes that you've created for your department. And as long as they're, you know, eager, I love eagerness. I think it's one of my favourite things in just eager to learn, eager to be open-minded, people who can, it says, take feedback, take it on board and then continue moving forward. Like they're the best people.
They're the ones that progress as well.
Absolutely. So, I mean, have you ever hired someone that looked perfect on paper but failed?
Oh, yeah. For sure, yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about that story?
I had a mechanic who'd come in from Germany and he was great on paper. And he would have been one of our highest paid in mechanics at the time. And it was the first year apprentice that was basically fixing up his stuff. And it was just like, it just never went there again. Never took it off face value on their resume or anything like that. So, yeah.
Is that because in Germany, they do things differently?
No idea. And we couldn't really even conversate too well to ask him why. But I was not the finest hour in hiring for sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that kind of taught you some lessons.
Taught some lessons. Yeah, it's like it doesn't really matter what you say on the paper, what the paper says.
Yeah. So how would you, I suppose, navigate that kind of situation next time? How would you try to mitigate from repeating?
It comes from good interview process, I think. Like it wasn't like, obviously I haven't had to do a whole lot of that in sort of like having smaller teams. When you get into a bigger team, like a service team, and it obviously becomes more prominent. But yeah, it's just, I think, better interview techniques. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I've learned that the longer you stretch out the interview process, the more interviews you have and the more that they show up to as well.
More conversations like this, I think.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's not just like, oh, what's your experience? What's this? How have you done this? How like explain to me how you would do something like this? Or, and get sort of have a more sort of a discussion rather than just pinpoint questions, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of like dating, isn't it? You just don't go from the first date to marriage.
No, that's it.
You take a few more steps before that.
Yeah, for sure.
And get to know each other a bit more.
Exactly right.
So that's probably how...
Are you going to be a great fit, basically?
Yeah.
Are you going to mold with the culture of the team?
Understanding their expectations, getting them to understand yours, understanding the culture. And
the team sort of aspect as well.
And look, it's always going to be hard. It's not everyone's going to be the right fit, I guess. And it's about being able to, I guess, recognise that before, it disrupts too much. Yeah. And I know it's harsh, but one person can change an environment.
And that was the whole thing there. Like with that, the culture shifted.
Yeah.
Because you had one guy who was meant to be all the rage, and everyone else had to fix it up instead. And it creates a sort of
and that doesn't help with the rest of the team's morale.
No, not at all.
And especially like if, you don't want anyone thinking that they're any better than anyone else.
Because if a person is a senior tech, and they need to be, providing that.
Yeah. I think it's funny now as well. I've been working in a yard and seeing the young trainees compared to how we were trainees. And this boy, he's only 18 or 19. And it's like not his fault, because I just believe that the kids nowadays have just been brought up with so much gentle parenting. Yeah. And everyone gets a merit certificate for everything. They come into the workplace and they can be quite challenging. And he's been on the job for about 3 weeks, and he was having a conversation with me, and he was like, oh yeah, I've told him I need a drive car in 3 weeks' time. I was like, oh, you told them? You told them? Right, I didn't get a drive car for 3 months when I was a trainee salesperson. And it was a Kingfisher Blue Mitsubishi Colt. It was my first drive car. And I hated that car. And they told me the only way I could get out of that car was when I sold it. And that gave me the motivation, because I hated that car. But he goes, I told him. I was like, did you tell them or ask them? He was like, well, I told them I'm not going to have a car soon, so I'm going to need one. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I know. It's
that's
changed
so
a bit,
interesting.
hasn't it? Yeah, it's changed a little bit.
But they don't know.
No, but I think
and I was
at
like,
the
you
same
can't
token,
just go.
yeah. Like I had obviously a couple of apprentices who were a little bit like that, but then you have some hard conversations, and it goes one of two ways, doesn't it? I mean, it doesn't work out or it works out, and then I've had some really great young people who have actually really turned around and worked out. So it's been great.
Yeah, exactly. I guess it's just the younger generation's evolving, and we've got to learn how to deal with them because sometimes you just want to shake them because it's quite frustrating. And but they just don't realize. And the thing is, I guess we went back to our younger times, how many things we said that might have been people being like, oh.
Yeah, you got told straight away though.
Yeah, we got told straight away. No one kind of beat around the bush.
Yeah.
They're just like, what the hell? Shut up. Get back to work. I can't remember, I remember I was terrified to even pick up my phone to like do a personal thing. Whereas now, you see people in the show texting, I don't know, on Tinder or whatever.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It's funny. It's funny, but this is what we've got to deal with. Like we can't, rely on an aging kind of staff bracket. We have to get fresh people in.
Yeah.
So I mean, with the younger staff members, I suppose that are probably someone that you need to lean into a little bit more, coaching wise. What would you do?
I mean, it's just, I guess, finding some sort of common ground, I guess, but at the same time being firm but fair. But you really need to sort of set that boundary. I think that they need boundaries, and I think they're going to try and test, like any young person, how far they can go. So just being like obviously firm but fair, but just having that clear boundary and clear line of this is not where we go, basically.
Yeah. And I guess just working together and, try. I
think
that giving them an understanding of why is important. Whereas we just got told,
this is what we do because it is what it is.
This is it. Shut up, go away.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work anymore.
No.
I find that when you're saying, hey, we can't do this because of X, Y, Z, and when we do it this way, it's going to help us get a better result because of this and this and this. They're like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You need to be, and I think that creates a better culture.
Absolutely.
A more inclusive culture.
Not just getting pineappled every left, right, and centre.
Not knowing why.
I don't know how we're still in this industry at that time.
I know. For that reason, I think, to just get it better.
Yeah, well, it's got to be a lot better now, but I think that it's just, it definitely is character building. And I wouldn't be as strong, as resilient as what I am now.
Sure.
And now I feel like, I have to, I think I'm, like tiptoeing a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
I think it depends who it is as well, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And that same trainee told me yesterday, oh, you're putting your mum voice on with me. I was like, this is the nice one. This is the nice mum voice. Yeah. We can level it up,
That's it.
But I guess like if you had an average team in general, I mean, how would you increase their performance without replacing the whole team?
I think it's just that character building, like when we were doing really, like when you start doing better, to reward them. Like just simple thing is going to the pub on a Friday with them and buying them a drink and dinner. Yeah. Just things like that. It really sort of builds a team and builds rapport and makes them do better, want to do better, do better for the business and for you as a leader. Yeah.
But it's also important to kind of, even though you're building that team morale, that I guess those lines aren't getting blurred.
Yeah, of course.
And it's, can be a tricky situation when you've got an employee who then, I suppose, gets a bit too comfortable and you've got to rein them back a little bit. I've been there.
Same. And and hiring sometimes friends, like when I was obviously I was often part of Mazda where we did our I did have a couple of my friends there, and sometimes like we're really lucky that we're good, good friends, because we can go, hey, you've been shit, basically. And then like 10 minutes later you'll be fine, but it does make it challenging sometimes. Yeah. When you get close to people, especially that work for you, that you need to be able to go, hey, we got a line here of we're at work.
Exactly. Yeah. I hired a friend of mine about a year ago now, as a trainee aftercare consultant, and she approached me saying, I want to get into sales, like, is there something that you can do with me, blah, blah, blah. And so we had a few discussions about it. And so I met up with her and I said, look, if we're going to do this, you need to understand that friend Kerri is not the same as boss Kerri.
Yeah.
And the way I talk to you as a friend, and sometimes when I'm under the pump and I'm sending out emails and this and that, you can't get offended because they're short, you know?
Yeah.
And now everyone just knows, that's just Kerri, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's not rude or disrespectful, but because I'm juggling so much stuff and things I need to get done. It's like, can you call this? Can you do this? Go get this quote, blah, blah, blah. And then after the day's done, I'm just like, we chat.
Yeah, exactly. The
you
same
know?
like me and my
and then we go
2IC.
back. I divert back to friend Kerri.
Yeah, the same with my 2IC and I. Like, we're just like, sometimes we're doing it, like, blah, 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 like this back and forth, we get stuff, and then we're just like,
yeah.
And then we get, you know, like, we sit there, we have a chat at the end of the day, and we'll just go, all right, see you tomorrow, mate. See ya.
And
you know,
yeah, you've got to have those friends who don't take it personally, you know.
That's what was really good, you know, with like especially my team, and even was then, and all my teams. Like I had like, especially with like your 2IC, it needs to be your right hand, you know, person. So
yeah,
and after my previous service 2IC, our families are really close. So we've got kids around the same age and stuff like that. But at work, it was like, you know, right now we got to lock in and get it done. You know?
That's right.
At home, like our families are really close now.
Yeah,
our kids always hang out and stuff like that. But yeah,
that's good.
His kids, so
yeah, I mean, I think it's really important to have that, you know, more than just a sterile work relationship with your team, because otherwise they need to feel valued.
Yeah,
and you know, if they do bring value to your life, then you want to make them feel valued. Yeah. And especially with someone, say, like a right hand or whatever, 2IC.
Yeah.
Imagine losing them, what chaos could ensue.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've been off work. So it'll be 5 weeks the end of this week.
Yeah.
And, you know,
you wouldn't have been able to have a baby if you didn't have a good 2IC.
Yeah, my business has been
You're going to have to put that on pause.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No. But yeah,
so I've been very lucky in that sense.
Yeah. No, that's, you know, it's important. It's important. And then obviously she respects you and obviously sees that growth projection because she's
going to do great.
Leveling up.
She's going to be good.
Yeah. And because when, I don't know if people listening knows this, but I do send out a little questionnaire form to the guests before they come to get just a little bit of background. And you popped into yours that you say it's really, really important that we welcome more women.
Yes, of course.
Into the industry, especially on the technical side. And that's something that you feel really strongly about.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, what sparked that?
I don't know. I think, you know, like here, especially, or like even in that sort of institute with this one person that we had as an apprentice, like the older sort of salesman, like, oh, what are you doing that for? As a guy's job, and that really pisses me off. Like anyone can do whatever they want if they put their mind to it, whether you're male, female, or whatever. Like you shouldn't be told what you can and can't do if you want to do it. So that's more like obviously females they really need to be in the industry and all that stuff. But I don't think it's more of a male female thing. It's the only thing they should be told what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
If they really want to do it and put their mind to it, anyone should be able to do whatever they want.
There shouldn't be male and female roles. No, to be honest.
That's basically more my sort of point. And they want to get, they don't think they can do it, and if they're applying, I'm like, yeah, let's get them in, let's get it sorted. And she's like, this is an apprentice at when I was a fixed ops manager. Yeah, she's doing great. She's not there anymore. After I left, she sort of moved on to, and she's at Jaguar Land Rover now, but she's flourishing. She's doing great.
Yeah. And that's fantastic to hear that more women are breaking into the industry, especially in the back end, because although I always thought that there weren't enough women in the sales side, there's even less in service and parts. Yeah. So, and from being in the sales side for 14 years, I've heard all sorts of things in the front end that may make women feel uncomfortable. Yeah. I kind of walked into a conversation of salesmen saying, I hate girls who sell cars because they don't do anything and all they do is cry. I'm like, dude, I'm out there on a 40-degree day in my stilettos doing a yard change, taking photos and videos of the car. Like, I can do anything front end. I'm sure that women can do anything back end as well.
I had one of the managers, like another guy saying to me, oh, say to one of my girls, why don't you get one of the guys to do that? I said, no, she's doing it because that's what I've asked her to do, and she's more than capable of doing it.
Yeah.
Sort of shut it down, but it's just like things like that is why they don't go in, I think.
Yeah.
Just like,
and look, I
comments.
think that when we get more people like you who, I suppose, stand up and cut out that nonsense when it's brought up, saying, no, she's good at her job, and backing women, like that's going to start breaking down barriers. And we need more people like you on our side to help make that open up, the opportunities and make women feel more welcome, because I don't see why, women in parts would be any lesser than any man. No. It's just about learning what things are called. And when I started selling cars, I didn't know what an alternator was or an injector was, but you trained me.
Exactly, you just do it.
It's just information that I just didn't have, really.
Exactly. But then a lot of the guys are the same. They couldn't have the first clue.
Yeah, I think I know a lot more about cars than a lot of the guys.
100%. Like, I had some people in parts and like even services who don't have the first clue about cars.
Yeah.
And it's not a gender thing. It's just knowledge.
Just a knowledge thing, a data thing, I suppose. So you make a more conscious effort of trying to bring women in then?
Yeah, if people want to, like, if a female wants to come in and try an apprenticeship, why not?
Yeah. That's not going to be something as a hindrance.
No, it's not. If they want to, but then you obviously in the same, you don't just hire them because they're obviously female. You go, do they have a good aptitude and want to work hard? And that's basically. And if they do, then it's green light. Let's go.
It's merit based. It's not gender based. No. It's merit based.
But I'd say like if a female comes in and wants to get into sort of the trade, it's like that's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
Well, even mining, everywhere we're starting to see a lot more women.
Yeah.
And, it's taken a bit of a long time to get to where we are now with women being welcome. But, I can see it only progressing more and more. I'd love to see more female techs in the back end, because I don't think that most of my career I've seen many at all on the tools or anything.
I mean, maybe 4 dealerships that I've seen.
Yeah.
Like a female tech.
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah. I think that's
crazy. And 2 of them were in one dealership,
Good first 5 or 6 years. I don't think I ever saw women. No. I've seen advisors, but not
Wild West Hyundai had one when I was filling in there in parts. I think Tony had 2. Then the one and the Korean that I hired,
Not right.
Yeah.
So, that's great. I love that you are, being more open-minded and not just discrediting someone saying, oh, she's a woman, she's just not going to know anything. At the end of the day, we just need people. Yeah. Well, it's not male, female.
No.
It's people.
That's it.
Yeah.
And good people.
Yeah. So, throughout your career, has there ever been any leadership mistakes that you've made that you've really had to learn from?
Yeah, I think, as you say, sometimes that, like, personal, getting too far on that sort of side, and then being able to sort of bring it back to being like, all right, I am a leader, like your manager and stuff like that. Sometimes that's been a bit of a challenge, but you learn from it, I guess. And that's probably when I was first starting out as a manager, like, it's get people that you know. But sometimes that's not always the easiest thing to do. And I mean, in saying that, the people that was working for me have progressed now, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just sometimes that.
Yeah.
Just know when to pull back, I guess, a bit.
And, we think that getting our mates to work with us is the dream.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so much fun, but also sometimes it can
people work for me, can my partner come and work for us? I'm like, nope. No. We can find somewhere else within the group, but not for us. It's a big thing for me, no.
You don't want to sit all day in the same, space as your partner and then go home and you can't even say, what did you do the other day? Because you already know.
These people are like 18 years old and I'm like, mate,
Yeah. Gosh. Being a manager, stepping up into leadership it's just a learning curve. Yeah. There's no handbook. No. We're not told. Generally, it's just like, all right, this person's left, you jump in.
Yeah. And you learn really quick. But having mentors are great as well.
Yeah.
Like good dealer principals that are really invested in you.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
I think
it's
from
the top.
Really important, absolutely, to, in those early days when you don't know a lot, have someone to guide you for sure. So you mentioned that, like, moving on to the future of automotive and parts and all that side of things that, you mentioned that EV, obviously something that's going to start changing the industry.
Yeah, for sure.
And obviously that's with the fuel concerns and everything that's going on in the world. I think they said that EV sales are up 400% last month.
My wife's a stock controller for BYD.
Yeah.
Which is obviously on leave, but they did 600 and something cars in 1 month, and then March they did 2,500.
Holy.
Yeah, across their network in WA, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just going a bit crazy.
Because I was working at an MG dealer, and one day I think they sold eight cars in one day. And then I went and popped into a Hyundai dealership, and they said that all their EVs they're sold.
Yeah, and so, Volkswagen, we weren't really moving those ID4s and 5s out of the anyway, but then you see all the bullshits come through and they're just EVs, yeah.
Well, I think those are kind of, they were on the fence anyway, these customers. They were thinking about it, and now what's going on in the world has kind of pushed them.
Yeah.
But obviously we're seeing, a lot more EVs being pumped out, but do you think that we have the infrastructure ready for it?
I don't know yet, no.
No?
No, you're obviously seeing like in America and stuff like that, there's just lines of EV chargers at shopping centres and stuff, and you go to a shopping centre here, they might have two and the corner, so they're always full or in use.
Yeah.
Things like that, so I just don't think we're quite there yet.
Especially WA being so regional, we've got Perth, but then like all the other places are so far.
I think hybrid technology is where we should be at the moment.
Yeah.
I got X-Trail hybrid at the moment, and that's great.
You think that's
I could drive around town, I get 5 for these for 100, so still, it's great, you don't need anything else really.
Yeah. And it's kind of knowing that backup, because I got given an EV as a service loan car a few weeks ago. And because I'm so used to a fuel gauge saying empty and full, and this said percentages.
Yeah.
And I was on about 18%, and it's because if my phone's on 18%, I'm stressed out, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know how far 18% is going to get me. Oh my gosh, like this is terrifying. And then I was like, because I'd never driven an EV before, I'm like, where do I even charge this thing? But yeah, so it's just, I guess, about trying to get used to that side of things as well. But
I think we'll get
they talk a lot
about
range anxiety, and I had that range anxiety. But also I see that, especially if you're going to country towns, so in the school holidays, long weekends, and say you go to Dunsborough, I'm pretty sure they've only got one charger in town, and then people are lining up and they
you're like plugging it into that 240 volt one that they give you, and it takes 3 days to charge it.
3 days. Oh my, And then I think the fast chargers as well, anything fast charge is going to deplete your battery quicker. So I guess there's a bit of a way to go to figure out the best way to incorporate it here.
Yeah.
But it's almost too late to figure it out, because it's happening. It's happening. People are just buying them. But I wonder now what kind of pressure that's going to put, and what our government's going to do to increase the charging, because we weren't ready for it.
It's definitely not overnight either, because you obviously got to build all this stuff and have people install them and all that. I just don't know how it's going to go, to be fair. Yeah.
I mean, do you think that all of these EVs are going to, I suppose, affect parts in the future?
Yeah, I think so. Look, I mean, there's a lot less moving parts. I mean, they've still got brakes. They've still got sort of your main service components, but there's no oil filter, obviously, or anything like that. But I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to have the parts department as we are now is going to have to adapt.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So I did a bit of research, and this is something I found online yesterday when I was, trying to get some information, because I don't know a lot about it. So it says electric vehicles have significantly fewer moving parts than internal combustion engines. Cars generally having about 20 to 100 moving parts in their drivetrain, right? Whilst a combustion vehicle has 200 to 2,000 plus in petrol cars, right? While a total vehicle, including the body, the interior, roughly has 30,000 parts, as we know, the engine to motor difference is vast, leading to less maintenance. Yeah. So the key differences in moving parts, obviously, as you said, petrol cars have complex engines with pistons, valves, fuel pumps, injectors, spark plugs, and complex transmissions totaling over 2,000 parts, whereas EVs have a very simple setup with an electric motor, reduction gears and bearings, typically totaling only 20 to 30 moving parts in the drivetrain. So,
and all sealed usually too.
Sorry?
All sealed up pretty much.
All
Just
sealed up,
replaced,
yes.
yeah,
So not
replace
really
the whole
things that
thing.
you can replace, like kind of,
Rebuild.
repair. They have to be replaced. Yeah. It says electric cars can eliminate many maintenance-heavy components found in petrol vehicles. So no engine oil, filters or oil pans, no spark plugs, fuel injectors or exhaust systems, no multi-speed transmission, no radiator, etc. So obviously, that is going to have an impact. But then I also...
On the service departments as well.
On service departments.
As well, yeah.
But I had read also that EVs have their own different maintenance requirements where, because of their weight and the torque fed through from, the electric motor, they wear out tyres quicker, right?
Yeah, and you're going to have
and brake pads.
And you're going to obviously get people, it's going to be good for training, for mechanic training, because there's a lot more, obviously high voltage training and stuff like that. It is a risk. It's obviously risky.
Yeah, and, so you need full-on electricians.
Yeah, so we were very lucky when I was at Southside. We had basically one of the highest qualified EV techs in Australia for Volkswagen Group. But it's very interesting, and all the PPE and stuff you need to buy.
Yeah,
it's hectic. It put like a firefighter to shame with the stuff that he had to wear.
Really?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Because it's not just it's the lithium.
It's the electricity, like the voltage.
It's
and stuff like that.
electricity, and then the lithium batteries. Like if they couldn't
just push it, and then especially if you get, and if we had like temperature guns, it was like 60 degrees. Just push it, get it out.
Oh my!
Yeah, and just leave it. It's not risky.
Yeah, and because we see things about EVs just randomly setting on fire every now and then, especially with charging. If people leave it over charging, and
that's another thing. The more EVs that come out, the more sort of what we call safe spaces you got to build. So you're gonna have
to fireproof your garage.
Everything.
But your house insurance probably going to have to go up. I don't know. These are the things that we just haven't even thought of yet.
Even in dealerships, like we have 10 EVs, where if not that's going to happen, let's say 8 of them start having issues.
Well, I'm pretty sure BYD factory.
Where are you going to put them? Like, they're going to be. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what it is. Like 35 square meters. Don't quote me on that. But where are you going to put all these cars?
Exactly. I'm pretty sure a BYD factory I saw yesterday, the day before, just set up in flames.
Yeah, the top in China. Yeah, yeah. It was. I think it's their damaged cars or their express cars or something like that. They were saying.
Yeah. So I put a lot of thought into this, and I guess I didn't know that until recently that they only had 20 to 30 moving parts in the motor. So I didn't realise what kind of impact that may have on parts or service. But do you think that having, out of these 3 options, I guess, I've written these questions in my head. One is, will EV sales mean less part supply and mean less opportunities for revenue going forward in parts? Or will this be made back in the future when it comes to replacing these batteries that are like 20K?
Yeah, I think...
Or number 3, sorry, will this mean that we just see more vehicles scrapped rather than repaired when the battery replacement is due?
There's going to be a lot of issues with scrapping, I think, for sure.
Yeah,
I think, I mean, they're going to probably get cheaper as the demand gets sort of higher, I guess, and the supply gets better. But we're not there yet either.
But we've probably got about, I don't know how many EVs we've sold today, right? But if we did 2,500 last month for BYD alone, right, we've probably got on this kind of older battery system that maybe will last 8 to 10 years maybe before needing replacement. And they're on this older battery system, which might be 20 grand, 15 to 20 grand to repair. And then when the car's depreciated by 8 to 10 years, are people going to reinvest that into replacing the battery, or are these cars just going to go in the bin?
Yes, probably more like go in the bin, especially when they're cheaper. Some of these like BYD and like MGS and stuff they're like 40 grand new. Like,
30.
30, yeah, but in 10 years they're not going to be worth $1, and then they're just going to try and they're going to.
So what are we going to do with these cars?
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with the cars.
Honestly, this is something that goes through my mind. I'm like, okay,
you see in America those 40, Tesla
50,
things.
Almost 100-year-old cars that are still running because you can get parts and you can tinker and you can play and you can replace and
room in the engine bay.
So they say that EVs are better for the environment, but are they really? Longevity rise, and then these batteries. What do we do with them?
How do you dispose of them?
How are we going to dispose of them?
Huge as well.
Can't just drop them off to the bin in front of Woolies.
No.
Or Office Works like you do with your phone batteries.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I see in America, there's like big runways full of like Teslas and stuff like that. They're all just sitting there. And where are these cars going to go?
That is in my mind a lot. I think
You can't
about
just crush a battery powered car, you know?
No.
So like, what do you actually have to do with them all?
And apparently mining for the lithium for the batteries is nowhere, like not, effective at all for looking after our environment, environmentally friendly at all. So to make these cars, to dispose of these cars, you can't really fix these cars.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they've really thought about that too much.
I guess we're going to have to start planning for it though, and figuring out what we're going to do and how the parts department can work around these things.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe they'll eventually come up with a battery that isn't like a fluid-based lithium, whatever, that will be able to be replaced for those models now that currently have. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think anyone's really thought about it.
Yeah. I am.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to do with these thoughts.
Yeah,
so.
that's it. Yeah.
But yeah, so do you think in 10 years the parts departments are going to be bigger or smaller or just different? Or
I mean, there's obviously, you go through, I guess, not crazes, but you go through waves of EVs, and so obviously like we had 10 years ago, like the Leafs and stuff like that all came out and everyone went and so did that. So I don't know if it's going to be how long it's going to sort of last for. It may keep going, and then obviously businesses are going to have to adapt, but it's just, there's so much uncertainty at the moment in the world.
Yeah, well, we've been running combustion engines for like 100 years, and all of a sudden, in such a short time, it's EV.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just happened so quickly.
Yeah.
So who knows, from the last maybe 3 years to now, crazy difference. So
Crazy things happening in the world though at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah. 10 years from now, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen? So I guess I normally ask people to wrap things up with, what advice would you give to yourself? But I'm getting a bit bored of that now. So I'm going to go a bit sharper with this one as my closing question to you. If I gave you control of an entire dealership tomorrow, what's the first thing that you would fix that most people would ignore?
I think it's just the team aspect. I think your management team, like together, like bringing them sort of together. I think you see too much divide between departments in a dealership. So just bringing like just bringing the managers together, I think, and just creating a common goal that you all want to get to for everyone is basically the most important thing for a team to succeed or a dealership to succeed. Is have your dealer principal and all your managers on the same wavelength. Yeah, it's kind of easier said than done. Yeah, but like we're not always going to be on the same page for everything, but be able to come to a common goal and compromise. Everyone compromise to end up getting the correct outcome in the long run, I guess.
No, you're right. Like without each department, you've got no dealership.
No,
you need everyone there.
Yeah, with
the same common goal.
Yeah. You're not always going to think the same, but at least have the willingness to compromise with each other and in case you come to basically the agreed outcome.
Yeah, exactly. Like at the end of the day, you got to think about what you're trying to achieve and how you can work together to get there. So that's really important. Well, we're going to wrap this up. So I really appreciate you
Thanks
coming.
so much for having me.
Especially with a 4-week-old baby. I didn't realise she was that young, but
I think you sleep about 1 o'clock this morning, I think.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'll let you get back to getting some rest. But look, I love you how open you've been about your journey, and you brought a lot of insights and, especially with things that I didn't even know about parts, because maybe I've been a little bit ignorant, naive to how it all works. But, even the leadership and the team building, and I love how, you're focused on that team mentality and that ultimate goal, right? Yeah. So I want to just thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I think this sort of platform is really important as well.
Yeah.
For everybody, like people who want to obviously come up in dealerships or just want a bit more knowledge about this sort of platform is obviously really important, I think, as well. So thank you for this.
Oh, thank you. I've really appreciated you coming here, and thank you once again to everyone who's tuned in and listened. And obviously, the drill. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, and share it with your mates. And I'll chat to you all next time.